thankfully for genetics and biology, we sometimes get male animals, so we have to find a use for them. And this class is our use for them. These goats are probably going to be slaughtered here in the next couple months. Maybe some will go home to be pets, but most of them, the end goal is to have them be butchered and provide meat to their exhibitor or to a consumer. And so what we're really analyzing is how much meat and muscle are on these goats. And luckily, one of our breeds, Nubians, are more prone to having more muscle because of where they originated from. And the three Nubians that stand at the front of this line are no different than what we usually see in them. They have a lot more muscle to them. These speckled, freckled leather that comes out. I think it's just a little bit longer in that loin, has a little bit further down your leg compared to the two that stand behind them. The young man's belted leather that comes out in a second, I think most closely follows our class there. He has a little bit more expression through that shoulder when compared to some of the other goats that stand behind him. He's good on his feet and legs as well. The young lady's leather that comes out in a third is one and then I think is very wide and powerful through that chest. He is starting to add some cover over that breastplate today. However, he still has a lot of width and dimension down his top. Expression of that leg. The young man's alpine cross that comes out in the fourth is one that I think you really have to appreciate his length of hind saddle. He's a long body. He has a lot of muscle expression through that leg. And when you start the young man that comes out next to this alpine, again, another super long body. However, he's starting to give up some of that power through that rear leg compared to the one standing in front of him. And then as we kind of go down through this group, we're seeing a lot of similarities. The young lady's alpine that comes out next, probably one of the longest body Bettleless mate goats in this class. However, he does give up some of that muscle expression, but has more power to him than the wether standing behind him. The black and white goat or wether that comes out next has a little bit more power and expression through that forearm. Is wider in its chest and provides us some more overall width and dimension. We have two very similar black alpine shapes coming out next. And I think these two are very similar. I chose to go with young man because I think he has a little bit more width and dimension over that rash than the young ladies. The young ladies probably is a little bit longer but class for back. So there's some advantages with both of those. And then we finish out the class with some more alpine shapes. The young man's wether definitely has a lot of length of body. He's excited. He's just starting to give up some of that power through his leg. The young lady's black wether, again, wide and powerful through that chest, gives us some of that power and expression in the leg. And then the young man that finishes out the class, probably one of the smallest goats in the class. However, I think given a little bit more time, would definitely find himself up through the middle of the class. So let's give them all a big round of applause. In that class of dairy market goats, our first place blue went to Riley Bunderman. Our second place went to Jackson Engelbrecht. Third place went to Greta Fugelseth. And fourth went to Caleb Fugelseth. And for our champion dairy market goat, for our grand champion, it went to Riley Bunderman. And our reserve champion went to Jackson Engelbrecht. And our trophy is sponsored by the Lion Clubs of Carlos. Our next class will be our meat market goats, and in that class is Carson Baumgartner, Cody Bunderman, Riley Bunderman, Zachary Bismuth, Kendra Massman, Harlan Ram, and Damian Slosher.
So I was just wondering. Makes sense. Yeah.
This is probably one of the most complicated classes to judge today, and usually market classes are pretty straightforward because you're looking for that muscle, you're looking for that mass and power. When you bring these goats out to the ring, they're at different weights, different stages. You may have some that are right in their prime right now, and you might have some that are starting to put some condition on, and then you have some that could probably take a couple more weeks, and then they'd be easily up towards the top of this class. As I start sorting them, I think there's one that comes out in my mind. He may not be the best off his feet and legs, but guess what? We don't usually eat their feet and legs. We eat their muscles. So I think the young ladies go to stand at the top of the class. I think easily takes it in terms of being closest to his terminal endpoint. He's wide through that chest. Maybe is starting to put a little bit of cover through that breastplate as he's starting to drop down there. He's wide and explosive over his rack. Definitely has the most width and depth through that loin. And when you get behind him, he has a lot more curvature and turn to that leg than some of the other wethers in this class. I joke with the young man that comes out in a second that his goat's probably a little chubby right now to be our reserve champion. But I think when you look at him in terms of his muscle design, he's right there. He's ready to go. He wants to really put that power behind him. He probably has the biggest leg in his class. He is just starting to get a little bit more cover on him than I would like. But definitely a very nice weather to come out as my reserve champion. As we get back into the next four goats, there's a lot of differences here. The young man that comes out in the third, one that is super powerful through that chest. Maybe you would like to see him a little smoother over that shoulder. He does kind of want to pull away and become a little coarse, but he has a lot more width and power to him. He's deep ribbed, he's deep through his twist as well. Very easily finds himself in the third. The young gentleman goat that just does not want to cooperate with him today is a little shouter made, shorter fronted, but one that still has a lot of muscle expression, especially in that area of his stifle. He just gives up some of that natural base width that we're seeing in the goats ahead of him. The young lady goat that comes out next, I think kind of finds herself here by default. He's wide and expressive over his top. I'd like to see him a little bit leveler and longer over that rack. However, he still has a lot of muscle expression to his leg, which is an advantage over our last place goat. Our last place goat, give him 20 pounds, and he'll definitely find himself up towards the top end of this class. I love his style. I love his outline. He just gives up some of that power today to the goats that stand ahead of him. So let's give those exhibitors a round of applause. In that class of meat market goats, our first place went to Riley Bunderman. Our second place went to Carson Baumgartner. Our third place went to Damian Schlosser. And fourth went to Zachary Business. Fifth went to Harlan Ram. And sixth was Cody Bunderman. And for our overall champion meat market goat, it went to Riley Bunderman, and then our reserve went to Carson Baumgartner, and our trophy is sponsored by Spruce Hill Rangers 4-H Club. And our judge will now just take a couple minutes to figure out who our showmanship winners are for each class. So if you guys wouldn't mind sticking around for a little bit so the judge can figure that out, and then we will announce that as well. And while we are waiting, there's ice cream outside for everyone if you'd like to get some. It's self-serve. So while we're waiting, if you want to do that as well.
You gotta make sure that media.
Yes. Yeah. I would, yeah, just mix them up so it's not like in your same order. Yes, sounds good. For our showmanship awards, could we have Cody Bunderman and Kendra Maxman, Riley Bunderman, Caleb Bugelseth, Carson Baumgartner, and Jackson Engelbrecht come back into the ring, please. And Mackenzie Fisness. And Greta Bugelseth as well. No animals.
It's a keeping camera.
Age-wise. All the intermediates kind of go to the middle, and then all my juniors come to the end. Yeah.
Juniors go over.
Juniors over here.
Yeah.
Greta, go over here. You're intermediate. Yep. Who's going into 7th grade? Or 8th grade, 9th grade? Or what is it, 6th?
Okay, so we have some of our top showmen out in the ring. So during our market classes, during our type classes, I was kind of quizzing some of our top exhibitors on things they would change about their animals. Some of them might add body parts. These were showmen that kind of stood out in the ring to me. They had control of their animals. Sometimes they had animals that were uncooperative, but they stuck with it. They didn't give up. I know at times we can be challenged by our animals no matter the type of work we put in at home. And I just want to congratulate all the exhibitors that showed today. I know this year has been very tough. We have not had as many opportunities that we've had in the past. However, I think we've had more time to spend with our animals, and it definitely shows in how the youth have presented themselves today. And I just want to thank everyone. Thank the parents for giving the time to the kids. to come out and bring them to this show. I know a lot of counties have elected to go with virtual shows, and sometimes that makes it hard because you don't get to have that one-on-one interaction. So when I get the opportunity as a judge, I try to take advantage of that. And yes, today I probably got a little goofy at times with the kids, but it's to keep it light and to keep it fun, because every year we want to take something away from our experience, and whether that's an entertaining judge or something that you learn about your animal, it helps the experience be better for the individual. So as we look through these showmen, they did a great job. They presented their goats with the utmost respect. They were confident in themselves. They answered my questions with confidence as well. And I think they did a great job. And I think we have some great mentors out here as you start looking at our older showmen. So I'm going to go out and congratulate kind of how we've decided our showmanship will go. So I will congratulate my senior, intermediate, and junior showman that was our champion. And then I'll go back through and congratulate our reserve. So again, let's give them a big round of applause. And thank you guys for having me up here. I really enjoyed my time.
Senior first.
I got senior in the front. Medalist.
For our showmanship awards, our grand champion for the senior group went to Kendra Massman, and for our reserve, it went to Cody Bunderman, and that trophy is sponsored by Up North Concrete Paving LLC. For our intermediate showmanship, our grand champion went to Riley Bunderman, and the reserve champion went to Caleb Fugelseth, and the trophy is sponsored by Lachey and Lexi Massman. And for our junior showmanship, our grand champion went to Jackson Engelbrett, and it went to Carson Baumgartner, and the trophy is sponsored by Lions Club of Carlos. And now we will give out our medals for the GOAT interview. So for the senior division, our medals go to Mackenzie Fiskness and Caleb Fugelseth. And then for the junior division, our medals go to Greta Fugelseth and Carson Baumgartner. And that concludes our GOAT show for today.